just to understand your perspective, we've seen 4 elections since 2019, and the BJP has done lost votes in all of them. They will have lost votes here. The average vote loss has been about 17% in these 4 elections. That Delhi, Jharkhand, Haryana and Maharashtra. But here it probably there will be a negative swing because the BJP held 91 seats in 2019. It's down to maybe 70, 75. But it won't be that 17% drop. It will be like a 7% drop. It's a very encouraging sign for the BJP that they are winning a state assembly election on their own. And they're going against 2 trends. One is anti-incumbency from a chief minister who's been in power 3 times. Historically, there's only a 5% chance of winning a 4th time. And the fact that they don't have Modi as a factor in a state election. Going against all that and still winning a big change.
If that turns out to be that way, of course, BJP has reasons to be happy with that. I'm not so sure about the vote percent. Yeah. You would know
we'll
how
change our
close
story.
The vote
if it changes, we'll change our story.
I don't know how close,
how
robust the vote percentages are at this moment.
Because
the polls, exit polls said that NDA could get anything around 42%, which would be about 12% of drop. So we should still expect, in any case, from national election to state election, even in normal circumstances, even when the same party wins, there is a drop of vote. That does happen. So I would not know. Yes. I must also say, frankly, I'm actually surprised with the trend that we are looking at right now, because it does. I cannot claim to have any intuitive sense because I did not travel. I have no intuitive sense this time. But it doesn't fit in with what some of the credible polls had told us. This gap seems to be increasing, and then you could say that this is likely to hold. But it is indeed surprising. All we can see is BJP doing much better than expected, and Congress doing much worse than Congress. JDU was expected to do badly, but Congress is also doing pretty badly right now. The left seems to be doing relatively well. I just quickly looked at the regional picture. It seemed to say that areas where the left is strong, namely Bhojpur, and some of the central Bihar areas, there the alliance seems to be doing reasonably, relatively better. So the left seems to have helped the alliance, but the Congress doesn't seem to have helped the alliance very much, because in a sense, left does bring something to the table. In Bihar, it's not clear what is it that Congress brings to the table. That may be hurting, but I really think that we should wait a little more, because this is counterintuitive.
Yes, I agree with you.
It is surprising.
It goes against all the exit polls. It goes against the earlier trends dramatically. So one should not conclude that this is the final picture. Totally agree. It's a very good health warning. But Yogendra, if this is the kind of final picture, what is the situation that Nitish is in then?
Then the BJP's game is successful. I personally thought BJP was playing too clever by half a game. They were so sanguine that they are going to win, they are going to do well, and this was a perfect opportunity to cut Nitish to size. If this tally holds, yes, they have cut Nitish to size, and they have managed to win. I personally thought it was a very dangerous game from BJP's point of view. From the point of view of alliance ethics, this was not the kind of game any alliance partner would want you to be playing, and we heard K.C. Tyagiji about some of those things. But yes, if this current situation holds, BJP has played a very tricky game and has succeeded in it.
Can I just say one thing?
Amazing, amazing.
Can I say one
Will
thing,
Nitish be just one last question? One last question to Yogendra. Will Nitish still want to be chief minister? Will he say yes? I think the only reason why I lost is because Chirag Paswan cut into my votes. Otherwise, I would have also done well, and I don't mind being chief minister. Or will he say, look, I'm about half of what the BJP is. How can I be chief minister? What's his your understanding of his makeup? His intention will be at this time.
I mean, want to be should not be much of a question, because I think Nitish Kumar has has left nothing to imagination about his desire to be in power. If he could resist coming to power in 2014-15, he would have been a very important prime ministerial candidate of the country. He could have been the biggest face against Narendra Modi. It is Nitish's desire, almost a compulsion, to be in power at any cost, which is what has, in a sense, reduced his national stature. So yes, he would wish to be in power, and as Shekhar was saying some time ago, he's a very consummate political player about these things, and he knows how to turn disadvantages into advantages. So the only question we should be asking is whether BJP would wish to, and we just heard the BJP spokesperson saying they have no doubt. In that sense, this would have been a mission accomplished for the BJP. Nitish still in power, but more as a puppet, cut down to size, his significance reduced, and made to and opening the way, paving the way for eventual BJP's takeover in Bihar. That's what BJP would like it to be, and at this moment, it seems to be headed that way. But as I keep saying, in case of Bihar, we should really wait a little longer.
Can I say
Wait.
one thing? Hello.
But you don't see a Maharashtra type situation here.
Can I say one thing, please?
I don't think. You see, Nitish
In
tried
a second,
that.
in a second now, Sagarika, 1 second.
2015, they did try that, and it did not work. It bombed completely, that experiment. That Mahagathbandhan, RJD and JDU. Nitish knows that while BJP is playing all kinds of games with him, he is somewhat secure in his chair. With RJD, he doesn't know which way things are going. So I doubt Nitish can do anything. He is a player. KC Tyagiji has more faith in his ethics than I do. Probably he knows him better than I do. But Nitish can do anything. I think you can, in this game, there's nothing that he cannot do. But given that he has had a stable tenure with NDA, despite his anger, despite everything, he may wish to continue. But that's a wild guess. Who knows him?